Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to the farm. Today we've got a special excursion to go on. We're going to visit a lime kiln and find out all about it. Come on.
Hi kids, how you doing? I'm standing here in front of what looks like an old castle or something. Some ancient ruin, but it's not. It's maybe only a couple of hundred years, maybe 300 at the most, I doubt it, years old. And what it is, it's called a lime kiln. And what this was for, this was when there was the big drive to improve agricultural land. And what they did was, they built this kiln. This is the same as a kiln for making pottery or whatever. It uses a lot of heat, and what they would do was, they would dig the limestone on top of the hill from the quarries, and they would bring it here, and the limestone would be broken up and put in the top. And then at that time, there was no lorries or anything like that, there was only horses and carts. Horses and carts would bring coal and wood, or whatever fuel they could get hold of. They'd bring the coal from the mines, probably over Dailyway or wherever, there's a lot of old mines there. They would bring it here, the coal would get in the bottom, they would light it and they would burn the limestone. And that would break it down and release the lime, and that was used to put on the soil to improve the quality of the soil. They probably used it for building as well, stuff like that. This kiln here will have been built using lime mortar, so there's probably a lot of use for that as well. Sadly they've fallen into disrepair and none of them are used now. There's quite a lot of them around this area. So we'll go and have a wee look now, and up a bit closer, and it'll let you see the sheer scale of the thing.
Now that we've heard what the lime kiln behind me was used for from Farmer William, I want to take you inside the kiln now to show you something really cool that's happening just inside the doorway there. Come on. As you can see under the archway, something white on the roof. This is something really cool. What you're seeing is the beginnings of structures known as stalactites. These are structures that are formed by water dropping from the cracks in the rocks containing calcium hydrogen carbonate. Now this special thing converts to calcium carbonate when pressure is released, and over some time calcium carbonate deposits to form stalagmites and stalactites, and we can see them on the roof of the lime kiln right now. So if you can imagine the constant drip, drip, dripping from the ceiling of the lime kiln, as well as the pressure, is actually making what looks a little bit like an icicle hanging from the top of the ceiling. Amazing. Now, boys and girls, 12 years ago, I took a special journey from Scotland here all the way to the other side of the world, to Australia, and I got there to see the Jenolan Caves. Now the stalagmites and stalactites that we've just seen in the lime kiln look like this. When we got to Australia, we went inside the Jenolan Caves, and these were some of the images and photographs that I took when I was there, and I thought you might like to have a little look. Absolutely incredible, on a much, much bigger scale than what we've just seen in the lime kiln, but still fascinating, and I really thought I should show you these. They almost look unnatural, but they are, inside the caves that I visited. This particular one is known as the broken column. It's where a stalagmite and stalactite have joined to form the column and then broken down in the middle. So not far from the lime kiln, Farmer William and I have stopped to do a little bit of fossil hunting. So we're going to show you what we found. Now, boys and girls, limestone is a sedimentary rock, and this means that it's made of a variety of different things. When limestone forms, it does so underwater. While under, bits and pieces of stones and dead animals and pieces of dead animals fuse together and harden, and voila, you've got limestone. Now this makes sense because we're not very close to the ocean right now, but in the rocks you can clearly see, boys and girls, little pieces of shells and fossilised sea creatures, just here in the rocks that I'm holding for you right now. Farmer William very kindly used his knife to pick out some of them for you to get a bit of a closer look, and I'll bring those to school to let you see. The rocks around here are absolutely littered with fossils. So above us is a ginormous tree, and as you can see on this rock face we have these enormous roots coming down and on into the rocks. So what do we know about limestone? Well, it has been around forever, and people have used it for thousands and thousands of years. The pyramids of Giza are made from limestone, as well as the famous Colosseum. When limestone is heated to a very, very high temperature and squeezed at the base of a mountain, it recrystallises into the metamorphic rock marble. Limestone is hard enough to resist weathering, but usually soft enough to be worked with, like cut and carved by stonemasons, so it became popular to be used as a building material. Limestone is also used to make glass and cement. In the 19th and 20th centuries, limestone became a popular building material for things such as churches, banks and houses. However, acid rain does slowly erode limestone. What a brilliant time we've had at the lime kiln. We're going to go now back to the farm and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!